It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Sports on a Thursday, a very special Thursday. It is July 3rd. We are on the edge of the 4th of July weekend.
Hashtag America.
That's right, baby. Ermanni and Edwards with the king of the B word, Tom Mazaway. How you doing, big guy?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy 4th of July weekend to everybody. Be safe and sound. Watch those police, those state troopers are out on their motorcycles and cars. Man. Yesterday, I'm not kidding, I saw 9 on my way, 75 north up to Holly. 9.
There you go. They don't play.
Yikes. They are not playing.
Yikes.
Watch it.
Michael DeVries is not playing either. He started up the Super Chat already. He said, let's do this. And I got an awesome prize pack for you today. We'll talk about it in just a second. The legend Rick. How you doing, my friend?
What's up, man? Happy 4th of July. Make sure you leave some apple pie out for George Washington tonight.
Hey.
We celebrating America.
Cherry tree, baby.
I'm a proud
love
patriot,
that.
baby. I realized I didn't have anything like an American flag. I got to step my game up for next year.
Santa Washington. I like that. And we're going to get into some 4th of July festivities. We want to hear from you guys what you're going to do. But Pete, in the TD booth, always great to have you, my man.
How are you? Good afternoon, Anson. Good afternoon, Maz. Good afternoon, Ricky. And good afternoon to our fans. Let's get right to a great Thursday on a Friday show.
Yes, sir. and Pete brought in some fire because we promised you an awesome finale pack today. I'm going to hit it real quick right now so we don't have to touch on it too many more times or take too much time with it. It's been a gnome type of week here at Woodward Sports, and today you're going to get the lovable Leo gnome, the Lions version right there. We're doubling down on autographs today. We've got a Braylon Edwards autographed rookie right here.
He'll be on his way in, by the way.
And he is. That's right. Braylon will be here shortly, guys. You also got Darren McCarty autographed one for you guys. Then my man Pete brought in some awesome cards. A Riley Green standout
Stars
MLB.
Yep.
You got the Roki Sasaki, the young pitching phenom from the Dodgers rookie.
He sucks.
And then you also got the Justin Henry Malloy, which you can't really see.
The blue glitter chrome.
That's an insert, a variation. Also got a couple other cards, but we want to make sure that you guys get an awesome start to the 4th of July weekend by taking this prize pack.
What's that on the far right, Anson?
What's that? The triple one or the
No,
Ezekiel
what's
Tovar?
that one? This one. What is that?
What, here?
This one on the screen.
Oh,
that on the
yes.
far
I
right?
didn't even
What was
see that. So I got this in the mail today. We've all been excited to see this one for a week. If you know the legend of Doc Ellis, 1973, this guy, well, he took a little square piece of paper, which we'll leave it at that, and he went on to pitch a no-hitter. This is from the 2021 Topps release called Topps Project 70, where they got all kinds of different pop culture artists to do different renditions of some iconic moments. So just wanted to share that one with you. I'm not giving it away.
A no-hitter on LSD.
Yes.
That is such a great-looking card.
I didn't want to go too far into that, but yes. He did pitch that.
That's what it is.
It is. An unbelievable story. There's some very cool cartoons and documentaries on that moment. But we've got an awesome moment ahead of all of us this weekend, and that is our nation's birthday, 4th of July. Listen, chat, I want to hear your answers as well, and I'm going to go around the room. I'm going to start with you, Rick.
What's up?
I want to know your most memorable 4th of July moment. It could have been bad. Hopefully it's good, but what sticks out?
I'm always going to go with the good. I don't have one moment, but when I was a kid, before 7, we lived in Pontiac, so we used to be able to go down to the Phoenix Center and watch the fireworks on top
Rest
of the parking
in peace,
garage.
Phoenix Center.
R.I.P. the Phoenix Center.
No doubt.
But that was amazing as a 4 or 5-year-old kid being at the Phoenix Center, fireworks everywhere. And sometimes we would leave right before they started, so we'd be downtown, leave before they started, and where we live, we could still see the fireworks, so we just watch it at the crib. So those are my favorite.
Fantastic.
Those are my favorite ones as kids.
Well, we might have the doc in later today, and we'll have to ask him about his Phoenix Center memories because he is the king of the concert here in Detroit. Pete, what about you? What stands out in your memory for the finest 4th of July?
Well, My friend, Dr. Mike Karen, good friend of mine, went to high school with him. He usually hosts 4th of July He used to host 4th of July parties at his house with. He would invite, all of his closest friends over, about 20 of his closest friends and family, and he would encourage everybody to bring, fireworks and things that would make noise and blow up. Well, one day about 12 years ago, we brought enough fireworks to literally have about a 3-hour show. It was the next day, which was so funny. He got a call from his gutter cleaning guy. He goes, what the heck? The gutter cleaning guy's like, what the heck happened at the house? It looks like Fallujah over here in the gutters. Every single section of his gutter was completely caked in ash, garbage, and whatever else.
How old were you?
This was 12 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So we were like 35 years. I was 35 years old.
Barely an adult.
Barely an adult, but taking 3 hours of
Were you
just
shooting them off the
destroying
roof?
things. We were shooting the highest legal ones possible. We had kids coming around. They're like, look at this stuff. It was like a little tiny impromptu fireworks show in the middle of the neighborhood, and it was just so much fun. 3 hours of just
That's great.
just being a kid, man. You know what I mean, Ricky?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to get a really good New Jersey
Yeah,
story.
I'm sure we are.
From Mr. Matt.
Hey.
Hey, man, 1976, the bicentennial.
Yes.
The bicentennial. I love it. I was 13. That's right. 13, was I? Let's see, 62. No, 14. I was 14.
Okay.
And got to march in the big parade in Jersey.
There you go.
And then at night is when, all the ships came in. They called it Operation Sail on the Hudson River, where I grew up. And if you guys look it up, it was a fabulous event. And next year will be 250 years.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I've lived through the bicentennial, and now I'm going to live through 250, well, God willing, 250 years of
You'll see 300,
America's
Maz.
birthday. Pardon?
You'll see 300. We
I
talking
hope
about-
so, bro. I hope so. But my sports moment on 4th of July, go back 42 years. 1983, Dave Righetti of the Yankees throws a no-hitter against the hated Boston Red Sox, and that was outstanding. The first no-hitter at Yankee Stadium since Don Larson did it in the World Series, like 25 years before that. So Dave Righetti, 42-year anniversary of a no-no against those hated Boston Red Sox.
Tough, man.
Dude.
You
Always
hate
gotta
those
put a
Red
sport in
Sox,
there.
man. You
I
hate those Red
despise
Sox.
it. I hate when they win a game. Like, I hate when they win a game. It depresses me. It depresses me.
What?
That's how much hate I have for them.
Well, I'm going to apologize to Fox 2 up front here as I read Ryan's reaction, which he super chatted. In
Easy.
2003, he was paid to coordinate Bullhead City's fireworks. He received a $20,000 budget. It went so well that he lost his virginity off the event to a stripper. Hashtag smelled like sulfur.
Hang on.
Freddie Feld in the
Ryan,
chat
you're
today.
my man, dude.
Freddie Feld in the chat today. He's going to be watching Jaws tomorrow while ignoring
Freddie.
everyone.
That sounds good, man.
It doesn't sound bad at all.
That sounds real good.
So I'm going to share one with you guys.
Yes, please.
You know, a lot of times I think back to going to my cousin's house and the fireworks. But 2009, Rothbury, Michigan, the second ever Rothbury Festival, which was the precursor to what is now known as Electric Forest. Now, I'm not a big Deadhead. Granted, I did say
I
that
love
Terrapin
the Dead.
Station would have been my
Yes.
song if I got stuck on the island for your
Yes.
question. But that Saturday night, which was July 3rd, their set on the main stage went past midnight. They played U.S. Blues as it went to midnight, and they just had 20 minutes of fireworks going over this main stage. And you know what, Chad? I got a gift for you. Boom. I just sent you the whole playlist from that exact show. I can remember where I was sitting. I can remember who I was with. It's so detailed. Probably shouldn't be, but amazing time. And I'm looking forward to Braylon getting in here. We'll be sure to ask him that same question a little bit
goodness.
later and get some great
So
moments
you were
from him.
at Electric Forest before it was Electric Forest.
Correct. The very first year in 08, it was everything. There was Snoop Dogg there. Fish was there.
That's awesome.
John Mayer was there. Primus was there. Bass Nectar was there. I mean, it was all over the board. It was kind of a Coachella type event instead of just electronic. The next year, they kind of went hippie jam band. That's why The Dead, with Warren Haynes as their front man during that show. But it's in the chat there for you guys. If you want to listen to something great this weekend, I promise you that set list from start to finish is just absolutely fantastic.
Goodness sakes.
Hey, did you see Mike Reed throw $20 in?
He did.
Yeah,
I was going to get to
it
that.
started. The prize pack is mine today. Freddie Felt and R.I.P. Rip to the great Michael Madsen.
Yep,
He passed today.
he did.
Shout out to Reservoir Dogs and Donnie Brasco. Thank you to IT Hips for that sad news. Man, that sucks.
He was good.
Yeah.
Definitely taken before his time, unfortunately.
And Freddie says, I saw The Dead at the Sphere. How about that?
Ooh, the Sphere.
I mean, you have to throw it in the super chat. Who was the front man for that show? If that was Warren Haynes or somebody else, I'm very curious to hear. Shout out Freddie Felt. In fact, this Lions Gnome that we're giving away today came from him as well.
Fire.
This is a group contribution. Braylon, Darren, Freddie, Pete, myself, we all threw in a little something for you guys today to make sure that your 4th is a little extra special.
Love you guys.
Unfortunately, the Tigers yesterday, they got halfway to making this weekend really, really special.
One good, one
second part of the second half of that doubleheader didn't quite go
Look at
as
that
well,
record,
but
boy.
we got a chance today to win the series.
That's right.
Out there in Washington against the Nationals.
Playing now.
My man Maz, are they going to win another series today?
Oh, yeah, they'll play it tonight, and looking forward to it. Who's going tonight? None other than Dietrich Enns.
Yes.
That's right. The man
Never heard
that
of him.
pitched in Japan,
Korea.
34 years old.
Yep.
34 years young.
Hanging
Comes
on.
up last week, pitches a one-hitter through 5 innings. I hope he could recreate it today against the Nationals. Man, the Tigers let one off the hook last night. They had taken the lead. They were down 3-0.
Yeah, it was
Took
crazy.
a 4-3 lead in the top of the 8th. Too bad they had to play the bottom of the 8th because they imploded. And Washington put up 6 runs, and it was Katie bar the door. And then Riley Green trying for another home run at the top of the 9th.
Oh.
And I forgot the kid's name.
He's
Center.
Unbelievable
Well,
catch.
But it was
catch.
I can't call it catch of the year.
Yeah.
Because that kid with the A's.
Denzel.
Denzel went over the wall to get one. This
Right.
kid, he climbed up like Spider-Man on that center field wall and grabbed it. And you just had to smile when you see it. When you see such a great baseball play. I froze it and I called my family. I'm like, girls, you gotta come in here and see this. They always come in. All right, Pops, say what's going on. So they were all in awe.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they all said, oh, he's a cutie. Oh, what a cute guy.
You're right.
He is. But, man, that was a great baseball play. But tonight,
It was number 2 on the top 10 for SportsCenter this morning.
Number 2?
Number 2, right?
It was number 2, baby.
What was one?
Right? I think it was like a softball play. I don't even know. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find
Jeez.
That catch, when he goes over the wall, it's not a hand straight up in the air catch.
Right.
He scoops a basket catch
Right.
on the other side of the wall. It was one of the best catches I've ever seen in my life, absolutely. But back to Enns, this kid, the last 2 times he's pitched in the MLB, 2017, 2021, and as Maz mentioned, a couple trips overseas, played in the Korean League and the Japanese League. But this guy comes back after 4 years, not on the shelf, but out of the majors and throws a one-hitter. I'm
One
excited
hitter,
to see what
dude.
this guy does
Yeah,
today.
hope he can keep using that bag of tricks and win another series. It would be their 18th series win out of 28. That,
That's
my friends,
insane.
is pretty damn good baseball. Sitting on 54 wins and owning the AL Central. I think they're up 12 still, 11.5
Yep.
or 12.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, they're
hey, that's pretty good.
up 12 and up 3 starters
Yep.
in the
The
All-Star
All-Star
game.
game, baby.
That's right.
Who would've known?
through
Tell
them
us
all.
about the 3, Pete.
Well, we got Riley Green, man. I'm telling you what, Riley Green, and you have the future baseball star card of Riley Green up there. Riley Green having a spectacular season, and why shouldn't he? We already talked about the home run that he just missed yesterday, but he did have those 2 3-run homers in game number 1. Here's Maz's guy. Glaber Day! He's going to
Labor
be
Day.
as part of the starting lineup as well. And then here it is, the comeback player of the year. We love Javier Bays. We love Javier Bays. El Mago is going to be playing center field. Tom, am I correct? He's the first All-Star to play What is it?
2 positions.
3 positions,
Three
right?
positions.
Second,
Second,
third,
short,
shortstop,
and,
and outfield, right?
Yep, good for him.
That is amazing,
Went
Tom.
twice with the Cubs, and here he is now with the Tigers. And definitely comeback player of the year. Hopefully he can keep it rolling. Yesterday had an infield hit. The ball is he's not even looking at the ball. It's rolling on the infield. He's got his head down, and he is like sprinting to first base. This guy is playing lights out baseball. He's like leading this team, basically, besides Riley Green and Tarek Skubal. This guy is the spark plug. He bats 9th, for crying out loud.
Oh.
He is having a comeback year, and it's killing Neil Rule. Neil Rule yesterday in our chat says, hey, you got to hand it to baseball. We've got an all-star starter for a guy that doesn't even start on his own team, is what he says. But basically he does start 90% of the time here for the Tigers. Might get a day off or two, but
deserves it.
That is fantastic. If you put Skubal in there as a starter, 4 Tigers to lead it off on Fox 2 at the All-Star game in Atlanta. And they will be wearing the Detroit jerseys. It's not going to be like those batting practice jerseys. They will have Detroit across their chest. They'll be the road team in Atlanta, the American League, so they'll be in the Grays, for this trip. So
that's Detroit versus everybody for real.
I'm pumped, man.
I'm trying to find it in our Woodward chat. Spencer came up with the best idea for a 30 for 30 for Javi Baez. And it was, do you guys remember
Hallelujah. It was Hallelujah. It was
Hallelujah. Bless them boys 2.0. I absolutely love it. What a story this young man is. I mean, this guy was
left for dead.
He was done.
He was the plague of the Tigers. All we did last year was wonder why he wasn't being bought out. You know, I told everybody at the start of offseason that they weren't going to buy him out. Oh, you're crazy, you're crazy. And then, you know, he comes back and everybody is pissed.
Well, remember what everybody said? He's a great teammate.
Yes.
And if you're a great teammate, then that means that you're just positive all the time. I think that we underestimated him, and I think that's what you're pretty much saying. I think that we saw his play. We were disappointed with his play, if I could add on to what you're saying, but we underestimated the character of the man. And once you underestimate the character of the man and you're wrong, you're wrong. And we were wrong. Because that guy is a good man. Because he could have easily thrown in the towel. He could have heard all the talk and said, like, you know what, F this town, I'm out of here. I'm done with the major league. I'm going through a divorce. He's going through his personal stuff. And we talked about what that does to people. I brought up the Justin Verlander thing. When Kate Upton said no to him, he lost 14 games or something like that. When Kate Upton said yes the next offseason, he went 19-9. This is a mental thing. It's just like golf, and Javier Baez proves. You guys, that's a good example of a human being out there to you guys out there in the chat. That is a good man. He looked and stared depression and awful situation in the face, and he persevered. What a good man he is.
It helps to make $140 million.
Well,
that doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt. I love that point, though. And when you've seen this resurgence of culture in Detroit sports during the 20s that we've seen here, you get attached to guys,
right.
And then there's guys that become scapegoats. And what I think is always lost on fans, because we don't get a glimpse into it, is what's happening in the locker room, what's happening in the clubhouse. And this guy clearly was embraced by the team, regardless of his play over the last couple of years. And I think that, Tigers fans were just shocked that we've gone from one extreme to the other, from wanting this guy out of town so badly to now celebrating him and the best record in the MLB. I mean, Maz, did you see this coming at all?
No, of course not. I thought they had the worst infield I've ever seen in my entire life. And I was wrong, as I admitted like 2 weeks in to the season. And Pete, put up the American League All-Stars and followed by the NL. Let's just go around the diamond here and look at the AL All-Stars. Obviously, 3 Tigers playing, which I think is a phenomenal thing. Let's start there at catcher. Cal Raleigh. Can we say enough about Cal Raleigh?
Oh.
He is, second, maybe first or second in home runs in the American League. Shohei's got the lead in the NL, and this guy is killing it behind the plate. 31 or 32 home runs. Then you got Vladdy at first. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
He's pretty good.
With Toronto. Did you know that Detroit and Toronto actually got together to try to get their All-Stars in the game? And
cool.
And it worked. So I'm happy for that. So go around the diamond. You got Glaber, who has been the second best second baseman in the league. And then you go to the rookie. That's your guy, Anson. Jacob Wilson.
Yes,
He's down with a
sir.
hamstring right now.
Yeah, yes.
But Jacob Wilson from the A's. What do you got on this kid? Now, he's been on my team as well. So you're not the only one that found a good gem.
Yeah, we're playing the second place team, my cousin. Shout out, Jared. But not having him or Bobachet.
Oh,
Bobachet?
Bobachet.
Not having those guys right now is crushing us. But this guy, Jacob Wilson, wasn't supposed to be a power guy. Not that he's a power guy, but what he did in AAA last year before his call-up was so special. I believe he whiffed on 9 balls.
Wow.
His contact rate could end up being historic when his career is said and done.
Dude, that's insane. You're talking like Tony Gwynn numbers. If you just said that he whipped on 9 balls,
In
that's
the AAA
Tony
last.
Gwynn,
Now, it wasn't
man.
a full season. It wasn't a full
I
season
hear
by
you,
any
but
means.
that's Tony Gwynn type stuff
It
right
is.
there, man.
It is.
Jeez.
Maz, who else you like on that All-Star team?
Jose Ramirez, obviously a third for Cleveland. You got Ryan O'Hearn from Baltimore as your DH. And in the outfield, it's Aaron Judge, and it's our 2 guys, Riley Green and Javier Baez. Javier Baez, how many games has he played in center this year? Not a whole lot, yet he gets voted into
Played
second,
enough.
into center field, which I think is phenomenal. Talk about a dream come true for a boy that played baseball. You know, he's a shortstop, and he gets to play. A.J. Hinch lets him play in center. Parker Meadows was down, and he earned a spot in the freaking All-Star game.
Wow.
It's remarkable. We're going to have Lynn Henning coming up, Tiger expert, Detroit News, of
Legend.
course. That's our guy. He'll be coming up here just a couple of minutes. I can't wait to hear what he says about him. And then there's your American League All-Stars. Now, if I looked at this team, it doesn't look that potent to me, All-Star-wise. We're going to look at the National League here.
There you go.
In a minute. Let's put up the NL guys.
there.
You could lead it off with Shohei Ohtani, obviously your designated hitter. He could pitch as well, but he is your DH right now. What do you say about that guy? He just keeps going. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He ain't going to stop, man.
Yeah, and he's pitching now too.
Yep.
Not going very, very deep into games, but I mean the fact that
Yep.
they're able to get both of that out of him now is amazing.
And his
by
Series
the-
2 card for Topps is now pitching. His Series 1 was him hitting, and his Series 2
That's
is now
very
him
cool.
throwing. So very well done by
That's
Topps.
very cool.
What are you saying, Maz?
His teammate Will Smith behind the plate. Will Smith's having a pretty good
Stud.
year. Freddie Freeman, another Dodger at first base. Ketel Marte playing second in Arizona. And, of course, you go next to him. It's Frankie Lindor for the Mets. Happy for him. He's having a hell of a year. Manny Machado, that
Always
is
there.
Braylon's guy. He's playing third for the Padres. You go in the outfield, you got a couple of Cubs. Kyle Tucker, Pete
Unreal.
Crow Armstrong, and then Ronald Acuna Jr., who came back a month ago, already made it to the All-Star. Now, here's the story. Pete Crow Armstrong having a hell of a year.
Yes, he is.
Did you know that he and Javier Baez were traded for each other
Yeah.
from the Mets to the Cubs?
Nice.
And they both make the All-Star game at the same time. Obviously, Pete Crow Armstrong is on his way big
Yes.
time up. Javi on his way back. So
The Mets are regretting that one, Tom.
it's all pretty good. And last night, Clayton Kershaw got strikeout number 3,000. Only the 20th pitcher in Major League Baseball to get the 3,000 strikeout. He needed 3. He got 3 early. He took a bow. He's one of the good ones.
And only
Great
the
career.
fourth lefty.
He's one of the good
Only
ones.
the
career.
fourth lefty to hit
I'm
3,000
happy for him.
Ks.
You know, I'm not happy for the Dodgers, but happy for him. It's always good when the Dodgers lose. They did
Yeah.
pull one out last night. Freddie Freeman with a walk-off. Of
Man.
course, baseball this year has been outstanding. I have loved every minute
Yes.
of this season.
Tigers making that real easy
They
for
really
us,
make
aren't
it
they?
easy.
No doubt
And
about
it's
it.
going to be great. We'll talk to Lynn Henning. Hey, if you guys got questions for Lynn Henning, what kind of move
Yeah.
do they need to make it to the World Series for sure? We'll ask Lynn about that. How about some Tigers on their way up? Kevin McGonkle, maybe Lorenzo. We'll see who he thinks will be up with the big club by midseason or by September at least.
Man, all those kids in the farm system are super exciting. You know, you kind of alluded to it, Maz, when we looked at there's kind of a disparity on the surface between the AL and the NL. The NL has got a lot bigger names there. And the AL, it seems like some of these guys kind of role players that have made it. I mean, Glaber is not a guy that when they signed him, you'd think that
Right.
this guy was going to be an all-star.
Yankees threw him away basically.
No doubt. My question for you at this point, Maz, is who's going to be throwing the first strikes for both teams?
Well, I believe, obviously, if the Tigers keep their schedule as it is and it works out, you got to give the ball to Tarek Skubal in the American League. And the National League, man, would have been up for grabs. It could have been Chris Sale. He gets hurt. He's not going to pitch for a while. So I really don't know what the heck in the National League they're going to do. I'd have to think about who's going to be the starter.
That's definitely the tougher question.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough question.
But we got Lynn Henning will be joining us in just a couple minutes. So get your Tigers and baseball questions ready for Mr. H.
Yes, please. And we have a new Mike entering the Super Chat. Welcome, Mike Reed. His second Super Chat. Any of you guys from Woodward Sports Network going to the Lions or Tigers game on August 23rd? I will be at both
That's a good one.
games. Hope to see you there. We're going to have to put something together, man.
So that's a Lions preseason game. And then, of course, the Tigers will be playing for the playoff seeding at that point.
How exciting. Not summer in the D, but how exciting is fall in the D going to be? We've got an unbelievable Lions team. We're going to be watching playoff baseball yet again. And we're going to get this new look Pistons team that we'll talk about later on in the show doing their first preseason action, getting ready for their season. I have not been so excited for Detroit sports in, boy, what, 20 years?
Yeah, should be.
Hey, football in less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
At least camp, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Very
we couldn't
exciting.
wait. Usually at this time of the year, we couldn't wait to start talking Lions, but I'm just so locked and loaded on this baseball season, I could care less. I'll tell you the truth.
We're going to talk about the Lions later, but we got a small window before the break. I want to ask you again, but one specific player, not a position room. What is the one player that you're most excited to see who's new to the Detroit Lions this year, either through trade, free agency, or the draft?
Are you asking me first?
I am.
I'll go with Isaac Tesla.
Yeah.
I want to see what they do with this kid. They traded up to get him. He was number one on their board for wide receivers. Passed up a couple of decent, good players to go up and get this kid. He's not going to be a starter, but I'd like to see what he can do. Like I said, I think they drafted him to be their Puka Nacua. And if that's the truth, then he is going to be in the big three when it comes down to it. He's going to be one of the top 3 targets within the next couple of years here for Jared Goff.
That would be fantastic. Pete, what about you? You got somebody?
Yeah, Tate Rutledge.
Tate Rutledge.
Because I just want to see if he can fill in the gap that's going to need to be filled, because this team does not work without the offensive line, and that is the bottom line.
Yeah, that beautiful scumbag. What about you, Rick?
I'm saying Rutledge. Before it would have been like Tesla or something like that, but now that our center's out,
Right.
we got to see what this kid can do, because I mean that's a big piece of our success. So I'm just excited to see what he's gonna do over the next couple of years. Rookie season, I want him to do good, but it's really gonna be how long can he sustain this.
Well, for me, it's Tyleek, our number 1 pick this year. I can't wait to see what
Tyleek Williams.
kind of production and glue he brings to the newly healthy, the return to health defensive line of the Detroit Lions. But once again, we're going to have Lynn Henning in here in a moment. Braylon will be here very soon. And we want you guys to super chat all your questions that you might have lined up for the legend, Lynn Henning. So I think we got time for some sponsors.
That's
here.
right, baby.
Let's start it off with the chair I'm sitting in, guys. It's from Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, right up the street on Long Lake Road and Woodward, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, led by Dr. Eric Duncan. He is the wellness doc, and, of course, he is the creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. So make sure you check it out. Book a visit right now. MassageChairHouse.com. Click that QR code. It'll take you right there. Make yourself an appointment. Take 20 minutes in this beauty. Or we had the Pharaoh in here just last week. $15,000 for that one. There's a lot more affordable ones than that. Check them out and get your money's worth and feel good. Massage Chair House, the ultimate recovery and relaxation spot.
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bar, stars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Second Best Bar in Detroit for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw, Easttown, and Van Johnson.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Now, I know you're tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch, man. Get some new. Get something, buy something new right now. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Go ahead, click over to that. Hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn heads, man. It's a new era of sports wearables with new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Shop.woodwardsports.com has all of your Detroit sports merch on there. Tigers, Lions, Red Wing, it doesn't matter. We got it. Shop.woodwardsports.com. That's shop.woodwardsports.com. Go get some merch right now.
Gentlemen, if we're being honest, we know that we love simple stuff like non-outfielders starting on the All-Star team. We like uncomplicated, and that's exactly what Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men is. 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You can walk in, sign in before you know it. You are handsome and ready for the 4th of July weekend. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. All right, welcome back to a very special July 3rd edition of the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz show. My name is Anson Wells. Shout out to Ricky and Pete.
Sir.
Maz, we've got a very special guest that we love around here at Woodward coming on today.
You bet. That's one of my guys. It's Mr. Lynn Henning, Detroit news legend, now residing in Atlanta, where the home of the All-Star game is. Outside of Atlanta, I realize there, Mr. H. What's happening,
Yeah,
my
about
friend?
5.5 hours away, man.
Oh, wow.
So, down here on St. Simon's Island, Georgia, which is an hour south of Savannah and about an hour north of Jacksonville, Florida. But yeah, it's a terrific coastal region, and those who haven't been here, once they come, say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know about this." It's really been pretty blessed. Thank you.
Do you miss Michigan at all, Mr. H?
Always, in the sense, Maz, that I know I'm going to be getting back soon.
Good.
And that's always exciting. Like, I'm coming back in 3 weeks for 2 weeks.
Awesome.
And that's the way it'll always go with the homeland. And particularly, again, speaking of graced areas in the world, how do you beat the Great Lakes state?
How about
And
it?
we're going up to Leelanau for a while, and I'll be doing stuff all around the state, starting in Detroit with friends. I mean, that's always going to be home. I've got a huge family reunion up near Lansing in a couple of days after that. I'm one of 49 grandkids on my dad's side. How's that for a real way?
God bless.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad was one of 12, and I'm one of 49, and 47 of us are still going, and the only
great.
2 have been lost in senior year. So talk about a blessed clan, but we do this every couple of years. And so anyway, I'm really excited to return, but so much is going on up your way, guys, that
Yes, sir.
it's just almost dizzying.
We got a
Between
baseball team.
and then the Lions and then the Pistons revival. And,
Yep.
you hope the Red Wings can join the party here this fall, and they should. But it's fun stuff, and I'm really glad for everybody back in the old native land.
Hey, it's been a while, Mr. H. It's been 11 long years. Well, 10. Last year turned out pretty good, but 2014, they were swept out of the playoffs by the Orioles, and it really was a dark time after that. And now this is a team you really can get behind, root for, and how do you not love the way this team plays together? I mean, they remind me of like the 72 New York Knicks and the 2004 Detroit Pistons, the way they play together. What do you take from this team? How surprised are you that they're 21, 22 games over 500?
Surprised in the sense, Maz, I thought the injuries at the start of the year were going to be really trouble. The narrowest of margins there last year to get where they did, or rather the broadest. And then when you lose a couple of really vital people like Braylon and Meadows right at the outset, Alex Cabu is still not back. You had a lot of pitching issues, at least in the sense that some of the people that they were counting on weren't going to be available. And I thought, this is probably going to be about a 500 team, maybe even a peg or two below. What we find, guys, is that they are so well constructed from a roster standpoint of depth and versatility that they have been one of baseball's truly good and very good teams. And that, frankly, is a testament to Scott Harris and the roster construction he's put together in the 33 months he's been on the job there. So I have to give him full credit, because guys like Zach McKinstry and Jahmai Jones, and we can go up and down the ladder here, guys. This has been an extremely well thought out roster that's been assembled. And that's the only way they've withstood really the injuries they have, right down to the pitching. And if we want to get to the trade market, which of course we do, it'll be what'll they be adding, and that in with bullpen help. And we saw that last night when the Nationals came back after the Tigers had done such a remarkable job getting that 4-3 lead and then seeing it blow up. But that's, we've known all along, going to be the first shopping item is back-end bullpen help. They will make at least one trade, and I think maybe two, to get that bullpen reinforced.
Is there anyone you have in mind?
They've got plenty of guys in Pittsburgh that can help, and in Colorado. You've got help really at a lot of places, even right down to Baltimore. In fact, I just wrote about this, fellas. Got it into the office an hour ago, and it'll be posting very quickly.
We'll be watching.
And we went down the whole list, the pecking order of relievers that they're likely to shop around for. And it includes Aroldis Chapman. That's I started today's discussion with him, because Boston is going to end up selling. And a guy like Chapman is exactly what the doctor ordered for this team. You want a blow-away, high-octane strikeout pitcher in that back end, and Chapman would be just the ticket. But that is the kind of group that we're talking about. People that can come in those latter innings, shut you down, and keep what has already been crafted through 7 innings intact. And that's what got away from them last night.
Yep.
Not that Tommy Kahnle isn't effective, he is, but you can't just keep throwing changeups in the 8th and 9th inning and expect you're always going to get away with it. Once in a while, it's going to be an incinerator, and it was last night.
It looked like he got hurt a little bit, because when they came right out, the trainer and AJ, but he was laughing it off, saying, I'm okay, but he just didn't have it last night. So if you stay with the Boston Red Sox, and if you get Chapman, do I dare throw Alex Bregman's name in there?
Got into that, Maz. Here's the deal. We all know Bregman's got an opt-out at the end of the year, but we also know Rafael Devers is gone.
Yep.
And the Red Sox are going to want to extend Bregman. And Bregman will want the Red Sox to extend him. because he likes Fenway Park. He knows how good it is for that right-handed bat of his. And he knows the Red Sox, after this kind of a bruising year and really sort of a bizarre year, are going to be really good. And they are going to be really good. They've got such tremendous young talent coming. So I think he'll want to be part of that. They're going to want him there for a centerpiece. And so, therefore, I can't see him being available. If he were, the Tigers would, of course, jump. But again, fellas, I think Boston's focus will be certainly on re-signing him. They've parted with enough people, whether it's Betts or Devers or et cetera, and I don't think they're going to let him get away.
Those were bad trades.
Terrible.
Hey, Mr.
Now, I think the Devers trade will actually work out for him because they escaped the ball and chain of what was going to be a really tough contract over the second half. And so they got a break there. But now they've got the revenue, fellas, to really lock in Bregman here for the long haul. And I can't see that they'll make any move other than that.
Okay.
So, Mr. Henning, do you think that the ownership over there in Boston is a little split between the soccer club that they own and some of the players that they brought in over there? I've been hearing a lot of talk about that, and that Boston Red Sox fans might be getting the short end of the stick there.
Oh, gee, Anson, you probably have tapped into a local critique that I can't imagine would be all that valid, because the Red Sox are too heavy of a resource in all of pro sports. And their fan base is too extensive, too deep, too rich. It's too much of a treasure for them to really treat in any kind of a backhand way. And so I don't think that's going to be an impediment, Anson. I think, again, all focus is going to be on getting Bregman extended. And that will solidify a situation right now that's pretty much in flux. And it will, in tandem with their young talent, probably portend another playoff team here very, very quickly. But it's not going to be this year for them. And I think they're facing facts now, even though they're not admitting it. But they have to be shopping those guys, at least listening to overtures. And the Tigers naturally would seemingly want to be in on Aroldis Chapman.
Well, I'm the resident conspiracy theorist around these parts, so I had to ask you. I've got a question on behalf of a great friend of the show.
Talk World Trade Center with you.
Only number 7. We've got Freddie Feld, a great friend of the show. He wanted to ask you a question. I also wanted to thank you for your writing contribution for 4 decades in our beautiful city. Besides the hot start that we've seen out of this Tigers team this year, he wants to know what similarities you see between this team and the 84 squad.
Interestingly, they're not really all that resemblant of one another. You remember the 84 team had all those superstars. You know, you had Morris and you had Trammell and Whitaker. These guys were all headed for the Hall of Fame. And you had Gibson, and then you had Darrell Evans, a line Hall of Famer. And you had all of these, Cy Young Award winners like Willie Hernandez waiting to be crowned as well in an MVP. So the Tigers don't really feature all of the superstars that team did. But they have a better overall team that I would submit, Anson. And the guest here has asked a marvelous question, because I just addressed this not long ago, too. This is a better team in all dimensions overall.
Wow.
Yeah, you take the star power of the 84 team for sure over this team. Now, they've got Green and Skubal, and that's significant, considerable. But again, you had a lot of Hall of Famers and near Hall of Famers on that 84 team. But you also had teams that probably didn't field as overall well as this team, except up the middle. And that's big. You know, Lance Parrish was Lance Parrish. Trammell Whitaker spoke for himself. Chet Lemon was dynamite.
Yep.
So I don't want to make too much of the middle comparisons, because that 84 team was premier. But you also have a lot more facets, right down to base running and base taking. And the overall defense is really better now. And that is a significant statement. On top of the fact, too, you get into the bench, you can alternate those guys just about any way you want and not lose much. The 84 team would have had its trade-offs there. Not significantly, but enough to where I think this is a better team, you might say a better baseball team. Emphasis on capital T, EAM, because of what they can do in such diversity and on such a high level. And that's why they keep winning these games in ways that sometimes we're not always sure how they did it. That's how they do it.
I'm really glad you brought up Chet Lemon. Rest in peace. He was my all-time favorite Tiger. But I have to let you know, the chat absolutely is going crazy over your response to this question. Really, really appreciate it. I'm going to hand you back over to Maz because I know he's got a couple more for you.
Mr. H, I want to talk about this team and these three all-stars that are going to the game. And the one surprise. Come on, man. We all left Javi for dead. We did.
We did.
We did. What the hell happened?
Everybody's asked the same question, Maz. I think a couple of things. Clearly, you'd have to say the hip surgery probably helped. But also, I think it gets down to the fact that Javi, one of these days, will talk about his off-season reflections and what he decided to do in 2025. And that was to take better at bats. And as far as his defense is concerned, I think I might have mentioned this to you a previous conversation, but it was in March. I was having a libation with a Tiger staffer. I don't want to give his name away, but a person in the know who said, you know, the guy that we could put in center field and who would be utterly terrific is Javi. I said, well, that's an interesting and amusing remark, but I didn't take it terribly seriously. And sure enough, he knew exactly what he was talking about. Jeez. And when we got Baez out there, he relaxed. And he's such an incredible athlete that he played the position as if he had been for 40 years. And it's one of the marvels to this year. But, you know, guys, I was just mentioning today, you know, there's another kind of an indirect dividend here, very direct if you're in the front office, particularly in the accounting department, is that ball and chain contract is now not looking quite as outrageous.
Not at all.
In fact, this year it's paying for itself. Yeah. And it suddenly shortens up the 3 years that we thought they probably would be digesting. And all because Javi is having the kind of year that his skill set always suggested he could have. But nobody saw this coming, and I'm not sure even Javi did, although an enormous compliment to him for clearly having changed his disposition toward how he was going to play baseball in 2025. And look at the fruits that have really accrued here because of what he's doing.
Lynn Henning joins us, the legend from the Detroit News. Those is stuff about the Tigers. Obviously, Michigan State, Anson's favorite place.
Go Green.
2 of my girls go there to go Green. But I want to take this one player at a time. Let's start with Riley Green. Green has blossomed now into that superstar. He is the one Tiger that you could say, we've got a superstar.
Yeah, and what he's doing at the plate right now is pretty phenomenal. I mean, he should have had that other home run last
night
in a second. And we'll be talking about that catch for a long time.
That was beautiful.
And also in the first game, I mean, he just missed on that high fastball that would have given him three 3-run homers and 9 RBIs. And so what he's doing right now is probably the highest elevation that anybody thought he was going to reach this quickly when he was drafted. And there's a reason he was drafted 5th overall. I mean, he was going to be an all-star and maybe an all-star plus. Well, he is at that stage. And there won't be probably any slowing down here. I mean, a month ago, we were a little nervous about the strikeouts. He was at 32%, and he just really wasn't hitting all that much. But you could see, too, that a guy with his skill set was not going to be very far from doing exactly what he's doing now. And sure enough, it kicked in. And now the strikeouts don't matter because he's almost doing that by calculation. He is taking his rips. And in time, he will chop down a little bit with 2 strikes, and the strikeout rate will go down. But he wants to hit the ball in the seats, and that's how the Tigers most benefit from what he's doing, hitting the ball up the alleys, over the fences, into the corners, wherever it may be. And he's doing that by design and by strategy. And he has, again, the talents to make that happen. And so what they're getting from him now is what all championship teams get, an offensive drivetrain in the middle of the lineup. And he's getting some help around him now, as we know, too, which has to happen. Otherwise, those 3-run homers are solo homers. So you're seeing it all kind of come together here, fellas, in the manner truly of a very good and deep playoff team.
Now, a guy that I'm worried about, and I know he was one of your favorites. He was one of mine. Still is. It's Spencer Torkelson. And, you know, his average is in the 220s now. And it looks like he's an all-or-nothing kind of guy. And what's your take on Spencer going forward? He almost didn't make this team at one point, had a good spring, and started off strong.
Yeah, I don't worry about him, Maz. I really don't, for this reason, and you just cited. He hits a lot of balls over the fence, and he hits an awful lot of them 400 feet to get caught. He also hits a lot of liners.
Yep.
And he's swinging at good pitches. He's not chasing. The average is a little low, but again, I think he's hit into an awful lot of bad luck. And I wouldn't worry about him, Maz, at all. And his defense is so good at first that he's becoming a real double dividend player. But he's going to end up with 35 or more home runs.
Yes, agreed.
And again, he's only 5 years out of college. Factor in the COVID year when he got drafted, which really messed everybody up, including himself to some degree. And you've got a guy who next year could be doing conceivably what Riley Green's doing now. But I think the power is going to be the constant, and you can live with that. Now, if you want to get a little creative here in your thinking, you can say, well, gee, let's go next year with Colt Keith at first base. Of course, they won't have Glaber, but they've got all kinds of candidates for second base. And you trade Torkelson for a really handsome return because somebody's going to be interested in those 35 to 40 home runs. It might be an idea that the front office entertains. They could do the same with Kerry Carpenter. Because by next year, you're going to have McGonigal and Clark at some point in that lineup in 2026. And the new generation of talent, Jose Bracino is going to be up before long and playing first base more than he'll be catching for sure. And he is going to be something to behold, I promise you. This team is built, guys, to be competitive for the long term. This is not an up and down flesh feast or starvation kind of a team that's being built here. Feast or famine, it is not. It's built for the long term so that when they leave spring training each year for the foreseeable future, they're going to have a chance. And that's how you really qualify a very, very good organization. And I'll have to give Scott Harris all the credit here, fellas, for really what's been crafted.
No doubt about it, man. I can't disagree with you. You glossed over Glaber. He's a one and done?
Well, you're not going to be able to extend him, Mass, because he's doing exactly what he wanted to do and what the Tigers hoped he would do. And that's hit his way into a big, fat, long-term contract. Now, remember, it's not as though the Tigers will just say goodbye here with no parting prize. If he signs the multi-year deal for $50 million or more, and he's going to get that, the Tigers get a very handsome draft pick right after the first round next year.
Nice.
You can do a lot with, let's say, a 34 to 40 draft pick.
Yeah.
So they won't be left holding the bag if they make the qualifying offer, which of course they'll make. But he has been another brilliant one-year ad. I give Scott Harris a lot of credit too because I think he makes smart free agent acquisitions. Now, you can say Kenta Maeda didn't do anything. Alex Cow's been hurt, and that's not on the front office. But he knows how to sign smart people to smart contracts. He did it with Flaherty. Look at the payment they've gotten on him at a trade 90 days before they re-signed him. I mean, this is all good work by the front office. So Glaber, even though he's going to go, is going to help them not only for the remainder of this season, but through the playoffs. And they'll get a really terrific draft pick for him.
Good enough.
All is not lost there at all.
Okay.
And the Tigers are regenerating in the meantime. They're going to have options at second base next year.
No doubt.
And Kevin McGonigal, I still insist, could be their starting opening day shortstop. Don't rule that possibility out.
Damn. That's awesome. Hey, last one from me. I know everyone wants to know your thoughts on Tarek Skubal, best pitcher in the game. He is not a doubt about it. He's a bulldog. He gives you everything. I was there on Sunday night. It was electric. 13 strikeouts. He had 7 in a row at one point, 8 out of 9. I wish they let him go and try to break the 17 that Annabelle got, but it was late. It was only the 8th and 9th inning. I get it. I'm over it now. But is he going to be a Tiger for life, or are we going to say goodbye to him as well one day?
No, he's going to go free agent, Maz, in 16 months. There's nothing really the Tigers can do about that. I mean, he and Scott Boras know that whatever it would take today to re-sign him to an extension is going to be so far beaten on the free agent marketplace in 17 months. $400 million may not even get it done.
No, it won't.
I mean, that's how crazy the market goes. But they're both betting on that and betting from an educated perspective. Scott Boras knows whatever figure he's thinking is realistic today will probably be smashed in 17 months. And for that reason, no, he's not going to sign. But again, they'll get a nice draft pick, rather, I should say, for him at the end of next season, assuming he continues with his health.
How should Tiger fans feel about that? I mean, that's our guy.
What's the alternative? Maz, what's the alternative?
You pay him.
When? Now?
Whenever. Whatever it takes.
But it takes two to tango, buddy. And that's my whole point on this. Boras and Skubal aren't interested in signing any extensions because they know whatever extension offer they would say they want today is going to be exceeded on the open market the next year. The Tigers can get involved in free agent bidding for him in 17 months, but then I have to ask you this. He's going to be at that point, 31? He's going to be 30 years old. You want to sign him to a 10-year contract for $500 million? I mean, I don't think that's really wise. I think what you can do is utilize him this year and next year. You take that very early draft pick and you turn that into a very helpful and very important piece in your competitive years ahead. So I don't know that there's anything around. The idea that the Tigers simply aren't going to open up the checkbook is nonsense.
Right.
I would
hear you.
completely reject that because it takes two parties to do the deal. The other party is not interested, Tom, right now in making that kind of a deal. I can assure you.
I get it.
Mr. Henning, I got to be honest. You are absolutely my favorite host or guest that we ever have come on here, and that's a basketball guy saying that.
Anson, you're my favorite question.
Well, and that's the thing is you always inspire these questions as the longer I listen to you. I want to rewind back to 84.
What do you leave 84 alone?
No, as you did the comparison, we all talk around here that A.J. Hinch should be the manager of the year. I'm throwing you under the bus here, my friend. Sparky or A.J.?
Oh, AJ.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
How about Jim
it's
Leland?
not even close. That's not putting down Sparky. But Sparky didn't come close to seeing, because of science, and also because there's a reason that A.J. Hinch went to Stanford.
Okay.
And this guy is so far ahead of other managers, it's not even close.
Yeah, it
And
really
now
seems
you can
that
make
way.
it. Yeah, Kevin Cash at Tampa is there. But A.J. Hinch, I didn't think managers could really win many games, Anson. But I'll tell you, A.J. Hinch wins a lot of baseball games, more than I ever would have fathomed. And he's doing it now. So Sparky was good for the team at the time. He was excellent. And again, I don't mean to diminish him at all, but he was not in the constellation that A.J. Hinch is in. And again, 40 years of science as well as A.J.'s intellect are all involved there. But he also knows how to utilize that lineup in ways that just leave other managers often in the dust.
I think you surprised some of us with that answer, but I think you've also inspired a lot of confidence in Detroit Tigers fans. We appreciate you having you on as always. Before I let you go, though, you and I are going to have to train our new Spartan friend, Mr. Mazaway. After you say "Go Green,"
Go white.
Well,
there it is, Maz. There it is.
He's got daughters there. That go white should follow pretty naturally. As do his tuition checks.
Once your money's going there, you got to know the rules, man. Go green, go white.
I've been a Michigan fan since I was 8 years old, all right? Leave me alone.
We'll see you in 4 years, my friend.
Mr. H, thank you. Happy 4th.
Thank you, Mr. Henning.
Maz, Anson, I enjoyed the conversation as always with you gentlemen. Appreciate it. Happy 4th.
Same to you, my
go
friend.
Go out and play some golf, man. I know you love it. Enjoy. Mr. Lynn Henning, Detroit News, long time Detroit News columnist and author, tons of books. If you're a big Michigan State fan, I know a lot of you out there, you should check him out. Check out Amazon. Just search Lynn Henning and they'll pop up. I got plenty at home, plenty of books from him, and he's always one of my favorites. It was him, Mike O'Hara, Kurt Sylvester. Those were my guys when I first moved here to Michigan, and they'll always be my guys.
A Detroit legend.
Yes, sir.
And there's another Detroit legend that I'd like to talk about, and that is Buddy's Pizza. From a little old metal pan 79 years ago, the creators of the very legendary Detroit-style deep dish pizza is, in fact, our very own Buddy's Pizza. 22 locations, including the original one at 6 Mile and Conant, as the chat would like me to perfectly pronounce. But yeah, that same spot is still there, slinging pies. They've got it on lock here in the great state of Michigan. But you can also get it on lock yourself with the app. That's going to allow you to earn some awesome rewards. And your very first order, use that promo code above my head, 10meal, to receive 10% off your order. So head on over to buddyspizza.com.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak? Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Belegian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Well, everybody, you know what time it is. Another QR code is dangling above my head, so you might as well go ahead and scan that QR code. It'll take you to Caesars Sportsbook. Use the code word over there, Woodward1000. Open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. When you do so, make your first deposit and your first bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head. Use the code word over there, Woodward1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. And please, for the love of God, I'm serious about this, gamble responsibly.
Hey, guys, we just gave you 30 straight minutes, actually an hour, on your Detroit Tigers with the great Lynn Henning and others. So I'm calling you Tiger fans, pay attention. Join Spencer and Easy for our final stop on the White Claw Tigers Tour, Friday, July 11th at Second Best Bar in Detroit. Be part of the fun. See our reactions live on Woodward Sports. It is the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw and Van Johnson Law.
Welcome back, Detroit. First hour is in the books. A beautiful July 3rd.
Quick hour.
Yeah, it really was. And it was all baseball, like you said. But
I love it.
We got some
There's
Pistons.
basketball. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we got some serious Pistons talk to get into. First, I want to remind everybody, we've got 2 autograph cards here today. One from the man himself, D-Mac, and then we've also got a Braylon Edwards rookie autographed card. Whole lineup of other cards there, including a Roki Sasaki rookie and some Riley Green stuff. And then you're also getting this Detroit Lions Garden Gnome right over here.
That's so fire.
That is cool. Look at him.
Good gnome.
Look at
Good
him.
gnome.
Appreciate
you knocked
you,
your
friend.
card over by
Yeah,
the
Sit next to Hoops.
We're not giving that one away anyway.
Yeah, we're not giving away Hooper.
So do want you guys to get your super chats in here for an opportunity to win all this fine merchandise. But also, we want to make sure that you guys smash that like. Get us over 100 likes today. You guys are already killing it in the super chat. But
Before you go to basketball, Pete's got a couple of baseball notes.
okay.
Yeah, just real quick, guys. I just wanted to throw in that Jeff Passan has tweeted out that the
Passan.
Jeff Passan. I'm sorry. I always say the French way.
He's not Arabic.
Poisson.
Passan. Yeah, you got it, Tommy. Passan has put out that Atlanta's Ronald Acuna Jr., Seattle's Cal Raleigh, and Washington's James Woods are confirmed into the home run derby.
That'll ruin all their swings.
That'll ruin all their swings.
Absolutely.
Just, where's Brandon Inge when you need him?
Yep.
And also breaking from Mr. Passan. Well, not really breaking, but he has confirmed that, unfortunately, we talked about Malik Beasley earlier this week, and now the Cleveland Guardians have a player in trouble. That's Luis Ortiz. He definitely is now under investigation for gambling.
Good. That's one less Cleveland guy.
One less Guardian to deal with.
What happened to good old fashioned steroids? Why is everybody gambling now?
Don't worry, Cal Raleigh, you're going to find out that he's been taking steroids.
Yeah, right,
All these
exactly.
home runs he's hitting.
Man.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked.
So there's your news.
I
You
miss
guys brought up.
steroids.
So is the home run derby the new slam dunk competition
It's
where
the-
you're not getting the best guys?
Yeah, you don't usually get the best guys, but it does. I've noticed this. I think it ruins them
I agree.
for the second half of the season.
I agree.
Really?
Yes, I think their swing goes. Watch those 3 guys. If you play fantasy baseball like we do, watch those 3 guys have a second half. I think will not be as good as their first half.
That's very interesting.
Yep.
Yeah,
Some
I've never heard
analytics
that.
I never knew about.
Cal Raleigh, he's not going to hit 33 more home runs in the second half.
Let's
I'll tell you right
bring up
now.
the obvious example I did. I mean, look what happened to Brandon Inge. It's not the best example, but he had, 2 home runs in the second half, Tom, after he went donuts?
After he whiffed.
After he whiffed in the home run derby? You're right, Tom.
Yep.
All right, Maz. Cal Raleigh.
Yes.
You got to pick one. Which happens first, 66 home runs or an 80-day suspension?
I'll go with 80-day suspension. He ain't hitting 66 home runs. I'm telling you right now. He's not getting near 60.
Well,
You don't think so?
speaking of getting into trouble, you guys know I have been ready and waiting, chomping at the bit to get to some Detroit Pistons talk. And
They're cooking something up, aren't they?
they are. And Trajan really is cooking something up. And before we get too far into it, I have to acknowledge him.
He should have those Brad Holmes eyes. You know those red piercing eyes that we put out on those
Yeah.
GIFs or GIFs
Absolutely.
or whatever you call them?
GIF.
You got to give those to Trajan Langdon.
Hey, I have so many times gone back to what Troy Weaver did through the draft for this team, assembling this core, clearing out the faulty books and contracts that we had, and really setting Trajan up for the summer of love that we saw bring back Tobias and obviously Tim Hardaway Jr., and then, of course, the former Piston Malik Beasley. Mm-hmm. Now, what you see him doing this summer, which to me, those moves, they weren't too exciting. They were just, okay, we got some veterans in here. But what we've seen him do last season, and even more importantly this offseason, by standing pat, having the confidence in this young core that I was screaming for them to have, but now he's cooking. You know, you have the Malik Beasley news come out, and it really throws Detroit fans into a frenzy because he was a fan favorite here. But he goes out and he gets a sign and trade to bring in Duncan Robinson, an absolute three-point specialist. And after the news of losing Beasley, you go out and get Karis LeVert, another Michigan Wolverine, a guy that can score at all levels, who first half of his career was a well above average
I think
defender.
they're better.
I absolutely think they're better. But yet, to your point, they're going to get even better because Trajan continues to cook. And what he has been able to do is finagle a way into a sign-and-trade deal for Dennis Schroeder to the Sacramento Kings. Now, a few things are unfolding here, my friend.
A lot.
So we've talked about the Malik Monk possibility of getting him back.
You like him, don't you?
I do like him. My problem is if you look at this roster as it stands right now with no additional additions, you're looking at a very, very crowded 2 and 3 guard situation on this team.
And you need a 4.
You need at stretch 4.
Yeah.
Now, Malik Monk is a tremendous scorer. If you add him to this team and this team decides they want to stay small, this team's going to be able to run with pretty much anybody playing small ball. But there's 2 possibilities, one on Sacramento that I'd like to see, or one that we've talked about already this week, because now we're hearing talk that the Golden State Warriors are being involved in a 3-way deal, possibly, with Sacramento in Detroit, which would send Kuminga possibly to the Kings, which we would then get Malik Monk, and then there's some other ancillary players that nobody really cares about that would move around.
How about just getting Kuminga?
That's what I'm talking about, Maz. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. How do you feel about this young guy?
Oh, God. That would be a huge upgrade. But what do you have to give up to get him? I don't think they're going to get him like this, because this was like a 1-for-1 deal. But now, with Dennis Schroeder going, man, they could really improve this team if they get him. Matter of fact, if they get any of the guys we're talking about, and you mentioned there's another guy that's out there, and it's Keegan Murray.
Oh, you jumped ahead, man. That would be
There's a bunch of these guys that
for
are
sure.
out there.
And Keegan Murray, this is a guy that's coming off of his rookie deal here shortly, and was a guy that was on the board for the Pistons. A lot of people here in Detroit wanted the Pistons to take him. Keegan Murray is a 4 that can hit the 3. He's still super young, and if somehow Trajan can talk Sacktown into keeping Malik Monk and sending us Keegan Murray, that's a guy that you sign to an extension. You keep him here for 4 years, and now all of a sudden you have a 5-man core.
Throw two number 2s at him.
They're all under 25 mass.
Throw 2 number 2 picks at him.
I'd have no problem with that. I'll tell you right now, for Kuminga, I'd give up Ron Holland, because Ron Holland is stuck in limbo between the 3 and 4 spot. He can't shoot outside to be that stretch forward we need. And now, as much as I'm looking forward to seeing his growth as a player in his second year, I don't know where the minutes are for him with Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert and possibly a Malik Monk coming to town. So if you move Holland for a guy like Kuminga, you have your starting 4 for the next 4 years. You allow Tobias Harris to come off the bench and not have to play the multitude of minutes he did as an aging veteran. And all of a sudden, this team, in my opinion, is the best team in the East if you get Keegan Murray or Kuminga here in Detroit. However, Malik Monk be a hell of a consolation prize. In fact, Malik Monk would probably get more minutes than Karis LeVert or Duncan Robinson.
Either way, it's genius that they could pull this off, because we always hoped that there would be a sign and trade involved with this Dennis Schroeder deal, and it didn't look like that. And I was still okay with just letting them go and picking up the 2 guys that they did in LeVert and Robinson. But now, if you can get an extra player thrown in there, there's a lot of money on the table. $22.6 million or a $14.3 million.
And so they'd
player
have to
exemption.
take the 22 back.
Yes.
And to me, I think that
And only spend 14.
And I think you could talk the Sacramento Kings and Keegan into signing an extension that fits in that $22 million, and then you work that sign and trade out. Otherwise, we do get that $14-15 million trade exception, which could be utilized now or very timely at the deadline, the trade deadline in February, when this team understands a little bit more what they are.
I'm all in, man. I'm looking forward to what this has been. Basketball might have done it right this year. The playoffs were pretty darn good, and that's because our team was playing so well. The physicality of the defense was great, up and down the court, beating each other up, and it was fun to watch. Sure, OKC won it, but it took 7 games. Indiana, they get hurt. The Knicks, they have a coach now in Mike Brown. Who else is down and out in the East? The Celtics without Tatum.
No Dame in Milwaukee.
Yep, couple other teams. Yep, Dame Lillard is another name that's out there that the Milwaukee Bucks let him go. They spent $110 million for him to not play for them. And he's got a bunch of teams that he can go to. So I say the Pistons are right there in striking distance to win this East, man.
Yeah, depending on what this final piece that falls into place for the Detroit Pistons and Trajan Langdon is, even without that happening, I see this team as a top 3 team in the East with the Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I agree. And that takes us to our next subject in NBA history here.
Uh-oh.
It's LeBron and the Lakers.
Real quick.
LeBron was crying.
Real quick before we go into that, I got a shout out to Inkster to LA. He said he absolutely wants to get Kuminga here, but the reason I'm saying this right now, Inkster, you won this week. We need you to email your address, first and last name, to Mr. Maz. Can you give him that email?
Inkster, hit me up at maz@woodwardsports.com, maz@woodwardsports.com, M-A-Z at woodwardsports.com, and we'll get that package out to you later today, or
they're going out Monday, guys.
Going
they're
out
going
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, it's the holiday. You weren't going to get anything that quick.
So tell us about your goat, my friend.
Sorry.
Well, you heard LeBron.
That hurt, didn't it?
You heard LeBron the last couple of days whining again, because that's all you ever hear out of him. All he does is whine that he wants to go to a team with a chance to win a championship. Can't win here in L.A. Oh, woe is me. But I took $50 million, so you can't trade me. But I'm going to get my money anyway. But last night, they signed a free agent, a guy that used to be a number 1 draft pick, and that's the center, DeAndre Ayton. They get a 2-year deal now to sign with the Lakers. They finally have their center.
DeAndre Ayton.
And there's more out there, more meat on the bone. Does Ayton make this team competitive? Or yesterday you said they might not even make the playoffs. How about now?
This certainly helps them. I forget the name of the kid that they Mark Williams, was it, that
Yes.
they lost out on
He
the
lost.
trade?
He failed his physical.
And that might have gotten them out of the first round. But this team still is not constructed to be able to get to the finals over a team like OKC or the Dallas Mavericks, because they're scary right now too. But I look at this lineup that they've got, and to me, this is the lowest effort starting 5 that I can see in the NBA. We know LeBron loves to take plays off. I mean, just go to Twitter and look up DeAndre Ayton, and you're going to see a bevy of videos of him just standing there and doing absolutely
That's
nothing.
great.
That's funny,
I cannot wait till he completely ruins them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So I'm looking at this situation, and
That is so good. Luka don't do anything either except shoot the ball.
Well,
By
that's
the
where I
way,
was
they
going
were
next.
They were the 1 and 3 pick of the 2018 draft, the 1st and 3rd pick, and now they play for the Lakers. By the way, both teams that took them, the Suns and the Atlanta Hawks, never had them.
yeah, and Luka, you guys know my opinion on him. His shoe is called the Matador, which is what he is on defense. But you know what, Maz? This is the surest sign of the end of this current Lakers team. The LeBron era is coming to a close. And you know why I know that? You know why I know that? Because that meat that's left out in the bone out there is Damian Lillard. And there are rumors that he would like to sign with the Lakers. And, you know, he could probably recover and be there in time for a March, April run to be able to get into the playoffs with this team. And you know what it reminds me of? 2004. You remember that
The
lineup,
Lakers.
guys?
Oh,
The Lakers.
Mailman?
The
And Gary
Lakers
Payton?
had their Hall of Fame squad.
Look at that.
You see it right there, and they're
There's the
trying.
glove.
They're
There's the
trying to
mailman.
recreate it there. So now you see Rui Hachimura there between DeAndre Ayton and LeBron. Just take his face out and put Damian Lillard in there.
Yeah. Garbage.
They're not winning anything.
Good.
They're not winning anything, and I'm going to stand by my comment that I
Good.
made yesterday. LeBron James will be traded at or before the trade deadline this year. Dame will not be there in time to save them. DeAndre Ayton is not the piece, and Luka is the future there. So I would not be surprised if that road gets rocky at all to see a whole lot of animosity between the two superstars that they have
I
there.
hope so.
And we just might see LeBron at MSG.
LeBrick.
How are they going to get him? They can't afford him.
Cat. They'll move Cat, which I don't love.
I don't either.
But they could maybe, I don't know what they do. But the Knicks seem just foolish and peasant enough to go and make that move.
Well, I always said it. I said it again yesterday. I think LeBron, if he really wants to be known as the greatest, go win a championship in New York. Show me. Show me what you can do.
And I do love that point. I don't ever want to see it happen. I don't want LeBron to get to number 5. I don't want him to be on the same level as Kobe.
I never want to see him win. But if he was with the Knicks, I would
be all right
I
with
would
it.
have no choice but to root for him.
You'd be all right with it.
I
What
would
if
have
he
no
was with the
choice.
Pistons?
I would have no choice but to root for him.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
That's the only two teams that he could actually not hate his guts for a year. It would be to play for my two teams.
Knicks and the Pistons.
You still hate him. You just be
crazy.
rooting for him.
Right, I would root for
That's
him.
it.
Now, I
You'd
got
be all right,
someone.
Rick?
Yeah, I wouldn't care. LeBron, he doesn't bother me. I'm not too super excited about it.
LeBron
But
James.
if he was here, whatever gets us to win, we don't need him. I'll say that.
That's for sure.
All right,
He
definitely don't
seems
need
like at this point in his career, he's busting teams apart. You know, I mean, I get
He's
that
always done that.
I get that you won one
Gets
in the
guys
bubble, but
fired.
nobody counts it.
Gets coaches fired. He's a killer.
He is.
He's
He
a killer.
truly is.
Now, listen, how about
Just
this one?
just ask your head coach, Mike Brown.
Yeah, I know. The Suns and Rockets, guys, are trying to break a record. They are involving 7 teams in a possible sign and trade for the KD trade now. KD was a 1-for-1. Now they want to make that into a 7-team deal. Look at those teams that are on that list.
I went through this last night. I might have fallen asleep during it
I
because
almost didn't put it on the rundown, but I did it for you.
You know what it looks like when you try and break this trade down? It's like when the guy's obsessed with the crime that he's trying to solve, and he's got this whole wall with tacks and
Yeah, the
strings
stickers, the
and
sticks.
the maps and all of that stuff. Because this trade's wild. I'm not sure why everybody else is hopping on to get in this. I mean, we already seen clips of Durant practicing down in Texas, so the deal's done, but it sounds like a couple guys want to latch on. And I mean, I'm always intrigued. I love trades, whether I'm pulling them in fantasy leagues or whether they're in real life. So my attention is there. I'm looking forward to see what shakes out. Not as closely attentive as I am to the Sacramento deal. I'm very curious to see what that. But, you know, you brought something up here at the bottom of this list that
I
we're going
have
to talk about
something for
next,
you.
which I hate. I don't want to talk about this, but we have to.
Yeah.
Tell us.
It's Joe Dumars, guys. And my guy, Anthony Colombo, Pistons Talk, took this from somebody in New Orleans. It says, where is Joe Dumars? Everything that's transpired since the Pelicans traded with the Pacers has left rival executives questioning if Dumars is taking an active role as the Pelicans will go on to acquire Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, Derek Queen, Peavy, and Hunter Dickinson. A very clear thought line. Troy Weaver would emerge. Every single player is one Troy has spent a lot of time with and has a close proximity to the DMV geographic area. This has Troy written all over it. Is Joe even in charge? One executive incredulously after the Dickinson sign was announced. This is tough optics for a franchise struggling to find legitimacy. Weaver, who by all accounts is an incredible talent evaluator, carries a reputation for poor asset management. His time in Detroit was marked by incredible draft hits, but also a remarkably poor handling of draft capital and space. Towards the end of Weaver's tenure in Detroit, listen to this, guys, another executive told me teams would call the Pistons regularly to see if they could secure a favorable deal. Quote, everyone was looking at Detroit saying, Detroit could help us out, right? Then calling them to see if they can trick them into some BS. This all culminated with the Pistons winning 14 games in his final season and a 28-game losing streak to boot.
Holy crap.
This is the New Orleans Pelicans. Joe Dumars, the president, hired right away. Troy Weaver, you know his track record here. You know his track record with the OKC Thunder. He basically gave them their head start. He basically gave the Pistons their head start. But both franchises were trash when he was there, Anson.
Not our problem. Neither one of them anymore.
Wow.
And as much as I love Joe Dumars, and we can never thank him enough for all 3 championships that he helped bring to the great city of Detroit. And again, I brought up Troy Weaver earlier. This guy drafted our core 4, and that's why we're so excited about this team. I also think that he set up a perfect baton pass to Mr. Langdon, and he's taken it, and he's cooking. But these aren't our problem anymore. The fact that 2 of our former guys are working together now in New Orleans, I hate to see former guys that I like have this kind of stuff written about them, but Maz, it's not our problem.
I know. But if you're the Pistons, would you call the Pelicans now?
Hell yeah.
To try to get, let's just say, pick a guy on the Pelicans. Zion?
Yeah, but I got to tell you.
For a 2?
Joe Dumars hasn't been back since he left. He wasn't at the last game at the Palace. We haven't seen him around this team whatsoever, and that's a tragedy.
He might not do business.
But I don't think Troy Weaver is too enamored with this franchise either.
Oh, he got hung out when he was in the stands that one time.
Oh. Yep, and then before that, you force him into taking a coach that he wholeheartedly felt was the wrong fit for this team, and
he was right.
He certainly was. But I don't think either one of those guys are excited to do any favors for the Detroit Pistons anytime soon.
I don't blame you. I don't blame them one bit. Hey, we got to take a break here, guys. When we come back, Anson needs answers.
Yes,
we got a
baby.
top 10 as well.
I need super chats, and I need you to smash the like button as well, guys.
Come on, guys. It's 4th of July weekend.
Come on.
Let's see the fireworks. First, I'm going to tell you about Black Rock Woodward Sports, turning up the heat with our new sizzling partner, Black Rock Bar and Grill, where you get steak on a stone served at a 755-degree volcanic rock. It's more than a meal, it's an experience. Enjoy lunch starting at $8.99. Rocking hours from 3 to 6 p.m., daily specials. Come hungry and rock your steak only at Black Rock Bar and Grill. Stay tuned. The summer giveaway is actually coming. It actually rocks. Visit right now, blackrock.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Stick from Woodward Sports. I'm out here at the Feldman shop, of course, because they are #1 people. And the Ineos Grenadier, that's the new car that they got. But I got my man here, the Sun God. I'm not lying. His name is Amon-Ra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He sold me a car.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? Come see us out here, baby. We in Waterford. We got the pre-owns all day. We got the Grenadiers, and we got new Chevys all day. Whatever you need, we got you.
Yeah, and I went with this one. I like it. 2023 Durango. It's used. Only got like 30,000 miles on it. And this guy, man, I was like, listen, this is my price. You either make it happen or I'm out of here.
Easy.
You know what he did? Went to his boss. He's like, I'm making this happen for this guy. Came back, threw the contract on the table. Now I'm in the whip.
Yes, sir. Sign, drive, 0 down, easy money all day.
All right, Feldman, what's the address here, do you know?
5300 Highland Road, Waterford, Michigan, 48327. Open until 6 o'clock every weekday except 9 o'clock on Mondays and Thursdays. It's 4 o'clock on Saturdays. Only day we're not here for you is Sunday. Every other day we're here to get it done, baby.
And his legit name is Amon-Ra. I'm not lying. It was destined. It was meant to be. Woodward Sports found this guy. So thank you very much, man. Enjoying the car, and the kid likes it too. It's nice and safe.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
You're already watching the show. That means you're a fan of Woodward Sports, so make sure you stay connected with us on all social platforms. Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Follow us for the latest sports news, live updates, and behind-the-scenes action. Don't miss out. Hit that follow button. Once again, we're on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network. That's at Woodward Sports on all of those platforms. Once again, that's at Woodward Sports everywhere.
Well, if it's good enough for Stick, it's good enough for you as well. Scan that QR code above my head. It's going to take you to Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's numero uno Chevy dealer with 5 locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and also out in Lansing. This month's specials for Feldman Chevrolet include a 2025 Silverado 1500 Crew. You can lease that for just $149 per month, or you can lease the 2026 Equinox LT for just $209 per month. Visit Feldman Chevrolet by scanning that QR code above my head and tell them that Woodward Sports sent you.
Sports, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. It is July 3rd. We're getting ready for the holidays, so we're going to have a little bit of fun here.
Let's do it.
We're going to bring back a segment we haven't done in a couple of weeks, and that is I Need Answers. Anson needs answers. And after we all give our answer here to this question, we're going to transition into a top 10.
All right.
And we'll see if you guys, whatever hurt you the most, ends up on this top 10 list.
I got my list.
And I'm giving some foreshadowing because I talked about pain. And we all suffered a little bit of pain when we found out that Malik Beasley was not going to be re-signed because of a gambling issue. Yeah. So I want to go around the room. Yeah. Pete, I'm going to start with you.
Hang on.
Actually, Ricky, I'm going to start with you. Ricky, I want to know what player in the history of Detroit sports, when they left, hurt you the worst? Now, whether it was through any manner of leaving, whether it was trade, death, retirement, what have you.
It was trade, and it was Mr. Matthew Stafford. It didn't really hurt in the beginning, because it kind of hurt because I wasn't a Jared Goff fan. I would admit it. I didn't get it. I thought he was just a bust. And then I had to watch Matthew Stafford go and win that Super Bowl. I didn't watch the trophy. I didn't even watch the last 4 seconds of that game. I just turned it off and went to sleep. I'll never forget that. That one hurt. It's like I was a Stafford fan. I still am kind of a fan. But to watch him leave this place and then instantly go win a Super Bowl the very, very next year, my abs are tight just thinking about it, man. I'm still angry.
That is on the list.
Man.
My man. My man.
And Kelly's annoying too. Throw that in.
Boot 'em kids. Boot 'em kids, which you can find in the Woodward Sports merch shop. Pete, you ready for yours?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I was dealing with a few things. Yeah, absolutely. Jack Morris. Jack Morris ripped my freaking heart out. I'm going to tell you something right now. I was all 84. 84. The first time I ever, gushing tears ever cried at a sporting event was 87, losing to the frickin' Blue Jays. You out of your frickin' mind?
Ken Herbeck?
Don't even.
I hate that man.
I'm sorry, no, we beat the Blue Jays, losing to the Twins, and I hated the Twins ever since. And where does Jack Morris go? Obviously, he's from Minnesota, but going to the Twins and then winning in 1991, I'm going to tell you something. My heart, dude. My heart, man. Number 47 was my guy, okay? I mean, that was Jack Morris with that big freaking mustache. That was the guy. I was 10 years old. You don't do that to a 10-year-old kid. I don't understand salary cap. I don't understand freaking the business of baseball. I just want number 47 on the mound with that big freaking mustache. And for him to just lose... just to cry in the stands. I was on the first base side, upper deck with my dad. We were like in 12th row. And just to cry in that 87 game, losing the Twins, and then watch Jack go to win in 91.
I was at that
My
game
heart,
5.
Man.
My dad stole me out of 4th grade class.
Nice, yes.
And I got in a little bit of trouble for that, but we win. I remember that one. And, again, I was a young guy, so I didn't know exactly how big the loss of Jack Morris was. But it's funny because those two are tied. I had to squeak. I cheated. I put 11 on the list. I'll let you guys know where that lands. Mr. Maz, what about you?
Mine was Matthew Stafford, but I'll go to my number 2. It's Justin Verlander. They traded him to the Astros. That broke me. Not only did they trade him to the stinking Astros, but he goes out and wins a World Series. It killed me. I really still hate it to this day that he didn't finish here with the Tigers. And then all those questions. Is he going to go in as a Tiger? Or is he going to go in as an Astro? Right now he's with the Giants. He's not going to go into the Hall of Fame with the San Francisco logo. But to me, that was the Tigers' number 1 pick. I remember the day it happened. Matter of fact, we talked to him. I was at not 105.1. I was at the old 1270 AM at that time.
XYT.
WXYT. And I was able to get him as he was drafted. And it was phenomenal. He was an unbelievable pitcher, one of the greatest that I've ever seen pitch. And now the kid from Lakeview High School, Hunter Brown, St. Clair Shores, is the carbon copy of Justin Verlander. I don't know if he'll be as successful as him. That's a hard thing to do, but he is his lookalike. He pitches just like him. I love it, and JV is always going to be a Tiger to me.
Well, he also made the list. I'm going to just go ahead and go on to the list, and then once we get to mine, I'll let you know, because it doesn't come in at number 1 on the list. But we're going to work backwards here. And chat, if you guys want us to read your most painful exit from a Detroit sports player, please super chat it in there. But I got to say, we're only at 51 likes on an awesome day like this when you guys are killing in the super chat. Please get us to 100 likes, and let's kick off this list. Coming in at number 10, Joe Dumars leaving as GM. Now, this has an asterisk because he was once a former player, but this guy took a very bad Teal team after losing a guy like Grant Hill, and very much like what we're about to see right now, turning a sign and trade where you're about to lose a player for nothing and turn it into something, which was Ben Wallace. But when everything fell for this team, he was the scapegoat, and he was sent packing, and we really haven't seen Joe around these parts since.
Too bad.
That one will always hurt. Number 9 is a shared between Jack Morris and Stafford. I almost didn't put Stafford on this list because, in hindsight, it's the greatest trade in sports history for both teams.
It is.
But at the time, boy, were we hurting here in Detroit.
I will argue. We still don't have our Super Bowl. We get our Super Bowl, then we good. But he still kind of has that edge.
He's got the ring.
Which pisses me off.
Not really. He put us on the map by getting out of here.
Yeah, but we do need a ring. Ricky right.
Fair.
Ricky right about that one.
But come on, man. You know you want that ring.
Of course I do. Of course I do. But I'll take the way they look now better than the way they looked with him before.
That's true. Facts.
And number 8, Justin Verlander being traded for Daz Cameron, excuse me, the autocorrect here. Franklin Perez and Jake Rogers.
He's the only one left.
Hey, how about that?
Daz never materialized. Franklin blew out his arm. Welcome to Tiger history.
I know it's not BDE, but number 7 is hockey. Sergei Fedorov.
Yep. He's on my list.
Taking less money to sign with the Anaheim Ducks, the same team that unceremoniously bounced the Red Wings from the first round of the playoffs in 2003. He went on to join them. And even though we won a championship after that, that truly was the signaling of the end of the Hockey Town era, even though we are still Hockey Town.
Yep.
So
Can't
number
disagree.
six, the Worm, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, going to the Bulls.
A guy who was leading the league in rebounds multiple years, a repeat defensive player of the year. But as we saw, the Palace fell apart in the early 90s there. The sad news of him in the parking lot with Chuck Daly leaving his great mentor there. His time was up here in Detroit. And we got fleeced by our good friends, the San Antonio Spurs, for a kidney-ailing Sean Elliott, in which we were going to move him for Robert Ory, another great friend of the Pistons, and Matt Bullard, and a second-round pick. But no,
He failed this thing.
that's right. He failed his physical. So you know what we ended up getting for Dennis Rodman once it was all said and done? A second-round pick and Bill Curley. No. You guys all remember Bill Curley, right? Number 5, this one was higher up, but I had to move it down as I really was being objective, and that's Chauncey Billups being traded for AI.
Wow.
Truly the end
remember that.
of the going to work era, a guy that should still be
Going
here
to the
in
casino,
Detroit.
they changed
Going to the
it.
casino era.
Yeah, no doubt. Going to gamble. So, yeah, number 5 for me is number 1. If I'm needing answers, that absolutely still drives a stake through my heart. Number 4, he just came back into the graces of Detroit, Megatron. Calvin Johnson retiring after, 7 or 8 years in the league, was it?
Yep.
That truly was a signal to Lions fans and the world that the Lions were the most dysfunctional franchise in the NFL. And that hurt.
But remember when Iverson was here, they did come up with a very cute ticket promotion. The Fiverson plan. 5 games.
I remember that.
The Fiverson
games.
plan.
That's right.
And the silly thing is he was traded after 2 games because he was going to fill seats. And now we got to do a discount to fill seats.
Yep.
Going to gamble.
Going to gamble.
Iverson plan.
Number 3. I kind of remember where I was when I got the news of the limo crashing.
So sad.
And
I was wondering if you were going to put that
Vlad Konstantinov.
Yeah.
And Sergei Manatsakanov.
Absolutely. But Vlad was known and feared around the NHL as the number 1 most savage defenseman in all the
Vlad
land.
the Impaler.
No doubt. And
That was in Birmingham, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
that we still went on to win.
Royal Oak
But
was right over there.
what could the Red Wings have been with 10 years with Vladdy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Something we will
Amazing.
never know and will always
Amazing.
be painful. Yep. No
Amazing.
doubt about it.
There's one that, as you're on the Red Wings, there's one what could have been on that list. Honorable mention before you get to the final 2. What if the Red Wings back in the day had traded Steve Yzerman to Ottawa? That was a huge rumor.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day. So what could have been on that list?
What if we would have traded broken wrist Isaiah to the New York Peasants and gotten some pieces? Who
There's
knows?
another one.
I'm glad he retired and he's up in our rafters.
There's
though.
another one.
Number 2 and 1 were very difficult, and they both center around the same team, the team that has struggled most here in Detroit for all of our lives, the Detroit Lions. And because most of us weren't alive when it happened, I'm going to put it at number 2, the curse of Bobby Lane.
Fans.
Trading Bobby Lane after he won a championship. Won 3, in fact, here over 7 years as a Detroit Lion. Traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and as he was on his way out, might have been City Airport, but I believe it was at DTW, he turned to all the press here and he said, the Lions won't win for 50 years. And hence,
He was right.
a dark cloud has hung over this franchise basically up until we traded Matt Stafford. All comes full circle, doesn't it? I'm sure you all can guess number 1.
Well, if you put Calvin on there, you're putting Barry on.
Of course.
Very.
And that was when it really sunk in. Obviously, the Megatron was the double down while this franchise is really broken. But, this guy was just on the heels of a 1,000-yard season, basically. We thought that we had a team returning that was ready to be a playoff team again. In fact, our best playoff stretch was the 90s, even better than the 50, even though we never ended up with the championship. But when the greatest running back of all time calls it quits via fax from overseas, you know that there is a problem in the D. And I don't think any of us have ever gotten over losing Barry. But we, fortunately, unlike Megatron, never really did lose Barry. He stuck around, went to the bars in Pontiac, waited in line, in fact, as we've heard some stories. Really, truly a humble and great man. We're so happy and fortunate to still have him here in Detroit. But that one still hurts, Maz.
No doubt, man. I'll give you my top 10 real quick. Stafford was 1. JV was 2. Max Scherzer, Sergey, J.D. Martinez, Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups.
Oh, yeah.
And then my 90s Lions, Herman Moore.
Yep.
Chris Spielman. And then Darius Slay after that. Those were my 10 that hurt. I didn't put Barry in there or Calvin because I didn't. They retired, so I said
makes sense.
These are the ones that got traded away.
Okay,
so that's the way I did my.
Ben Wallace and Chris Spielman are two that I missed. That I look back and it truly hurt me. I was mad at Ben Wallace for some time.
To go to the Bulls,
man,
come on,
man, and he was never the same after he went there. And the Pistons weren't either. But we're up against a quick final break here. Listen, you guys got 5 minutes to get your Super Chats in. Take home both of these autograph cards as well as the Garden Gnome. Hey, let's double them for the last 5 minutes, all right? Double slots on the wheel. Smash that like button. And I think Maz has something to tell us about fighting.
Yep, the guy over my shoulder. It's Ven Johnson, guys. Justice. It means different things to different people, whether it's a settlement or a verdict. Justice is always worth the fight. If you've got a case, contact the fighters at Ven Johnson Law today. And justice. Get the justice you deserve. Tough, tenacious, trial lawyers. Ven Johnson Law.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Beligian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media. X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, guys, get your fitness on this summer at Planet Fitness. The high school summer pass program allows teenagers 14 to 19 to work out free all summer long at Planet Fitness judgment-free zone. This allows teens to prioritize their mental and physical health while school activities are in recess. Since launching the program, Planet Fitness has invested more than $300 million in waived membership dues to promote your health and wellness. Planet Fitness.
Hey, guys. Les Stanford has got some amazing deals on their 2025 models. We've got a couple new ones for you here. The 2025 Hummer EV SUT for $599, or the Hummer SUV for $699, and of course that unbelievable deal for only $169 a month, the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation. Listen, you can't forget about their massive inventory over at Les Stanford, Buick, and GMC, but they've got great deals for everybody on almost all of their 2025 models. So head on over to your nearest location or just check them out at lesstanford.com. And then, of course, guys, you know, together, let's drive.
Supposed to have Dr. Pierce on today. We ran into some problems, so just to remind you, I was there today getting my therapy.
I think him and Bray are together, headed down to Cedar Point to catch a show or something.
But do not miss our injury expert. That's Dr. Jeff Pierce of
Tommy.
Michigan Sports and Spine. He keeps you in the game, performing at your best. Give him a call, 248-426-9944. It's MichiganSportsAndSpine.com. Tell him Maz sent you, because I'm a patient. I'm a client.
Hang on there,
I'm
man.
telling you the truth.
Let me take care of you the right way. Sorry there,
go.
buddy.
And
there you go.
Speaking of that
better.
spot there, you got middle-aged sneaker chick saying hi, Maz. Doesn't she work right over there?
Yeah, her and I ran into each other at Dr. Pierce's office. So
Middle-aged sneaker chick.
I got you. I got you, sneaker chick.
There you go.
I got
There
you.
Go. All right, guys, we're in the last few minutes here. If you guys want to super chat some stuff in there, I need you to smash that like. Try and get us to 100 right now. We're going to run the wheel in a minute. I'm going to give Pete a couple moments to get that wheel caught up. Rick,
What's up?
what are you cooking? Because we talked yesterday. You weren't sure what meat you were buying.
Right.
Have you figured it out yet?
I thought I was going to have to do my work job, but I found out yesterday I'm off all day. Well, I only have one job tomorrow, but
Okay.
it's a work from home job. So,
There you go.
Shout out to 105 One Bounce. But so I don't have to cook. My brother-in-law's cooking steaks. So shout out to the brother-in-law. He's
There you
going to be
go.
handling everything. All I have to do is show up, and I get to leave a kid when I leave.
Oh,
Nice,
man,
man.
it's not the best or
Get
what?
to leave
Good
him.
for you,
Don't
buddy.
have to cook, go home.
I remember those days.
Man, when people, I'm not even going to get into it.
That's exciting.
My 5-year-old, I'm going through it. I'll tell Mads about it later. She's not even allowed at one grandparent house right now. That's how bad she's been.
Uh-oh.
I
We'll have to
don't
get
bring
that
her
story
over.
after the show. Pete, what about you? Are you playing pinball? Are you eating steaks? What are you doing?
We're doing some pinball. We're doing some poker. We are doing a Pete weekend of
Triple
just
P.
being
Poker, Pete, and pinball.
Man, I'm telling you, living the
baby
single
oil.
life is the only way to go. There's no stress. It's my schedule. I get to do what I want, go to bed when I want, wake up when I want. Live the life you want to live, baby.
I have no idea
your
what
thing,
you're
Pete.
talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
What about you, family man?
I'm chilling with the fam. Today, as soon as I leave here, I'll head over to Union Lake. Aunt Kathy throws a nice party for us. Watch the fireworks at about 10 o'clock tonight. Actually, I think I'm going to try to escape early. Get the hell out of there.
There you go.
I hate the bugs at night. I hate them.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
I'm an indoor guy. I am.
Bugs
I'm
at
an
night
indoor
suck.
guy.
A man who lives in Fishflyville.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. How do you
Horrible.
live on the east side and you hate bugs?
If I'm not in the pool or in the ocean or in the lake, I want to be inside, just chilling out,
Interesting.
watching baseball, and that's what I do.
Speaking of the pool, did you get a read on the temperature today?
I did not look. It was been up to 89 degrees, so I got
Without a heater.
Without the heater, I got the solar cover on it. I'm hoping to get in it tomorrow at about. Hopefully, it'll go down to about 85 because I like it a little cooler.
That's fantastic.
Got a little.
Throw
Cooler.
some ice in there like it's Dubai.
Yeah, sure.
Layla,
Did you see that one girl? There was a video going out, and she was trying to get in the ice bath,
Yeah.
and she put her one leg in, jumped right out,
Yeah.
and she's waiting, and they talk her, and she gets in it, and you just see her trying to breathe through it. I was feeling the pain go through my body. I know it's good for you.
Is it?
Once you're in,
I don't know.
that's what I hear.
Exactly.
Wim Hof.
It's good
It
for you.
doesn't make sense to me.
WIMHOF. He's a
Yeah.
near 80-year-old Polish man who has developed a breathing technique that is mystifying scientists around the world.
Yeah.
This man climbed Mount Everest in shorts.
Yes.
This guy
Can't
takes
survive.
discomfort seminars where he brings people in. They go polar plunging, and it's amazing. But it's all about your breath. And there's actually only about 3 ways to neurogenesis, which is the regrowth of brain cells.
Yes.
One is through strenuous, like a 60-second run uphill.
That is correct.
Another one is through cold. So for about 4 or 5 years now, every single shower I end with 2 minutes of ice cold.
Ice cold.
Wakes you up, and it's neurogenesis, baby.
And look what it's done for you.
Hey, I will take that as a compliment, even though I'm not sure. it was
I
meant
do
that.
the sauna and steam room every day. I'm the exact opposite. I do extreme heat.
I don't even like hot tubs.
Really?
It's too hot.
Mass, what is
It's
going
too
on?
hot.
No.
You
Just
got to
give me
jump back and forth from that in the pool.
I need a comfort
You gotta
cruise,
get over
man.
the hill, bro. You gotta get over the hill.
Now, what about like up at Boeing where you can jump out into the snow and then jump back in the
God,
pool?
no.
See,
No, I
would
love
do
that.
I would do
way.
that because
I
I'm
love
there.
that.
That's the best.
But I'm not getting in a tub with ice. I just can't. I
love that.
just don't.
It's good for you.
Well,
I
Good
guess.
for you.
Freddie
Polar
Fe-
plunge.
I like heat.
Freddie Felt's going to be wearing all black this weekend, per the usual. Tomorrow, Jaws and John Wick, 1 through 4, full blast, 70 all day on the AC. And I guess number 4 is Ballerina now, right? I haven't watched it yet, but the spin-off of the female John Wick
really?
disciple.
Okay.
So, Freddie
I got
Felt's-
through John
Doesn't
Wick
work like
1,
John
and that's
Wick.
the end for me.
Yeah.
And I'm a Keanu Reeves guy, but after 1, I was finished with John Wick.
I just finished that Thunderhead, the new
haven't seen movies.
Marvel, like kind of Iron Man type of thing.
Okay.
You know, a lot of the
Jeez.
woke stuff that people are complaining about. I thought this one was really darn good, man.
That title was very interesting. I thought it was of a different genre.
That's for after the show, my friend. The 5th one is Ballerina. Appreciate you, Freddie Feld. I did not know they made 4 John Wicks. I thought they capped out at 3.
No,
But,
I keep seeing him pop up. By the way, Tom Cruise, 63 today.
What?
Me and
shout
Tom
out Tom
Cruise, same year we're born.
Yeah.
Look at
Hey.
the difference between the two of us.
You guys look the same.
The two
like
Toms.
brothers.
you should
63
You don't want to be
years young.
him, Tom.
You should
You
see
like the
him.
Arabic Tom Cruise.
You should see Maz slide into a room in his underwear and socks.
Yeah, right.
Whoa. Boy.
That's
That was my
pause.
favorite Tom
Risky
Cruise movie.
business, baby. Come
Pause.
on.
That's my
gotcha.
favorite Tom Cruise
Yeah, you
movie.
Pause.
was born yet.
Yeah.
Pause.
That is a great movie.
I like Jerry Maguire, too.
Yeah, and you know what else is great is sending somebody home with some
Look at that
awesome.
wheel.
I
Look at
love.
the wheel, dude.
Hey, that's
I love
beautiful.
it. I love it.
Hashtag America.
That's fantastic.
America.
You know what? I got a whole bunch of.
beautiful wheel.
We had a whole bunch of people throwing off their win possibly today. A lot of these mics in here are super, super generous. I know somebody in here told me for me to choose the person if they won, Michael DeVries, that is. So let's just go ahead and spin that damn thing whenever you want, Pete. We'll figure out who the winner is, and we'll figure out who we're mailing it to.
Who's Sergeant Schultz?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with
indivisible.
liberty and
Justice for
justice
all.
for...
Shout out to Mike Reed, Inkster, Sergeant Curtis, all the new people in the super chat today. I appreciate it. And of course, all of our mainstays, our regular, the guys that make it and the ladies that make it happen every day. We really, really appreciate you. Make sure you smash that like button before you leave, before the end of the show.
Here we go.
Get us over 100. And it's going to be Mike Reed. Mike Reed came in today.
He started hot and heavy.
He did. He said, let's get it started. Mike Reed, we appreciate you. You know, maybe we're going to have to make it down to that game in August 23rd to show him some love, but we really appreciate everybody. Hey, listen, we appreciate the doc. We appreciate Braylon. Appreciate both our sound and our tech over here.
Don't forget
Pete
Lynn
and
Henning.
Rick.
Thank you, Lynn.
Lynn
Lynn
Henning,
Henning,
the
baby.
legend. All of our amazing sponsors.
Go Tigers.
And my absolute favorite, my man, Maz. I love having you up
Thanks,
on the
buddy.
desk here, pal, and I hope that you and your family and everybody watching, all you guys, have an absolutely wonderful 4th of July.
Hashtag America.
Peace.